Welcome, Capricorn, to your tarot reading for 2023. This is Gene Meyer from Inspiring Clarity, and I'm glad you're here today. Today we'll be doing your forecast for 2023. As you see, I have 12 piles of cards. We're going to give you a 12-month forecast. I'll be using my newest Morgan Greer deck, my oldest and most reliable Morgan Greer deck, my specially created Rider-Waite Love deck. And we'll be using our brand new Buddha Spirit reading cards. So let's get started. Oh, and at the end of June, at the end of December, we're going to do a fortune-telling card. So I want you to think of a question, a yes or no question, we will get the answer to in June and December. And we'll also get your lucky numbers for the year. So let's get started. Our year starts with January. And January sees you manifesting. This may be an active manifestation, or it may be something new that you are starting. But it's asking you to refine and define your life. Find out what it is that you truly want. After all, having what we truly want is kind of what it's all about. All right. And our next card is Judgment. And Judgment isn't so much of a card of a bad card as it may just relate to what I was saying about you need to decide what you want to do. You may hold yourself in judgment. You may feel like you're not good enough. But truly, we all have the power to bring our dreams to our reality. And the next card is the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles, normally in the upright position, means that you're going to get a debt paid back to you. But in the reverse position, you may loan somebody money and they may not pay it back right away. Because right now this is a reverse money situation, so just beware. If you buy something, you may not be able to get your money back. Something's going to hang your money up. So, and it's going to be a battle to try and get it back. As you see, there's many people battling, so you may not be the only one who has a problem in this instant. And I'm guided to say it will take a while for that money to work out. So you may have to be patient. I'm thinking this might be some kind of a refund. Maybe you bought something from somebody and it didn't work and they don't want to take it back. But eventually it will come back. So let's take a look at February. February saying, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. So there's something going on. And because that card is a sideways card, it's meant to mean that it's going to take a little longer. So if you feel like, wow, you must feel like you're being persecuted. I'm thinking you feel like somebody in the past has turned their back on you. You know, and that's not a really good feeling. But all of these cards together. So possibly they just kind of slid out. Maybe they were doing something behind your back. But this shows them moving away as silently as can be, that they don't want to be discovered. Whatever it was keeping you up at night. You knew it, you had worries about it. You kind of figured it was happening, it was plaguing you. And now it's time for you to walk away. This card and this card are the same card, they're saying let it go and you walk away. So that's a good point. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Just let it go and walk away. It's not worth fighting about. So let's get to March. March brings us to another couple of months of manifestation. There's some things going on. It's going to take a little while. That moon indicates a month and the lanterns indicate 2. But somebody's seeking happiness. So hopefully in a couple months, wow, things will really be better. Because the Ace of Pentacles says a fresh new start. And here's that money. Remember we were talking about money? So there's a new start with money. And there it is, the moon. The moon reminds us that everything comes out in the dark. As soon as the moon is full, we can see a whole lot more. So if you're having a financial issue, check around the moon. And here we are with Judgment again. Wow. And so Judgment tells us, maybe we're not using our better judgment if we loan this to somebody with something unseen. And it's going to trap you to them. It may ruin a relationship. You may not have that friend anymore because of this financial issue. So that's kind of scary. I don't see that clearing up none too quickly. So let's move on to April. Let's see. April starts out like a lion, like a breeze. And we've got red here. That's the base chakra. That's internal movement. That's what we need to motivate us and get ourselves along the path. Because you are no longer tied to whatever was bothering you back here. All those sorts. You're no longer bound by that. It's time for you to break free. And the choice is yours where you go. With the Chariot, it's not always black and white, but it's a choice. You can lead that Chariot in whatever direction you'd like to go. And then we have the Lovers. How wonderful is that? This could be a Gemini. This could be a soulmate. It could be somebody new. But this is a good, heartfelt connection at this point. Wow. And somebody's going to be really happy. 10 of Cups, ultimate happiness card, and I love that. So that's April. Let's move on to May. And May shows us a shadow of possibly what we used to be or what we're leaving behind. So perhaps whatever it was just a shadow in your life, and it's, again, time to move in that new direction. Because you shouldn't have to fight, you shouldn't have to battle, just to have normal things going on in your life. And that's kind of funny because that one and this one say the same thing, that you shouldn't have to fend it off. So I'm wondering if something is happening here because of this. I don't think this has anything to do with this. I think this has to do with the money. Because I show everything else in the rest of your world peaceful. The World card tells us, and especially when we have the Chariot, that things are moving forward. And that we have to be comforted and know that it's being taken care of. The Hierophant is normally the sign of a good relationship. So hopefully this relationship that you started right here is going strong for you in May. So let's take a look at June. June starts out 4 months. 4 months of thought. I wonder what needs to be thought about. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 months from that loan. And you feel like you're trapped. You feel like you're trapped. And like I said, I'm worried that'll ruin your relationship. Because you were blind about it. You refused to see. You didn't answer. You know, you wanted to help this person, and you did. So you really can't truly feel bad about helping someone. The Hermit says, look back in retrospect and think what you may have done wrong. You know, it's not wrong to trust somebody. It's not wrong to help somebody. But, you know, maybe whatever was done wrong to you. So let's take a look at our fortune card. We've got 1, 4. Did you think of your question? Yes or no question? All right, let's get our card. It says, it's conceivable. Well, anything we want to do is conceivable. So if you can conceive it, you can work it out. So let's move on to July. July starts with almost the same exact card. Moving. That 4 months. And just a different perspective. Just a different look. So, these 4 without the moon, that doesn't necessarily mean months. It could be weeks. It could be days. I mean, so 4 is a very prominent number for you, I think, this year. And here we have the Emperor. So, our next card is the Emperor. And the Emperor is, again, a sign of a legal or a more permanent arrangement. So, there's going to be a more permanent arrangement. And like the moon, the stars tell us we'll still be shining. We'll be okay. You've got that inspiration that you need to go in that direction you need to go. And then we've got the Queen of Cups. Somebody's loving this. Somebody's really starting to have things go their way and in the direction that they want. They finally settled in on that happiness and that relationship that they want. So I'm loving that for you. No more crying over what was in the past, because it's now not in the past anymore. It's directly in your future. So let's move to August. August tells us it's a prime example to sit tight. And that red on this card tells us that, again, we're talking about the heart chakra. And we're talking, or the base chakra. And so it's saying, keep to yourself, sit tight, and just wait to see what happens. Wow. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles, a power card. And she's absolutely radiant. But right next to her, we have the Knight of Swords. So I'm feeling power couple here. I'm liking how this feels. Because we have the Star again, making your dreams come true. 2 piles in a row. And then we have the Victory, moving in, that happiness, the time that you want to celebrate, moving forward in that wonderful relationship. So let's move into September. September shows best friends. Do you have a best friend? Perhaps you'll meet one. Perhaps you'll meet a new friend. But that's part of the Wheel of Fortune. Directing yourself in any direction that you need to go. And friendship is an awesome direction. Because we also find the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is love. So this can actually be family that comes to visit. It could be somebody that you're quite fond of. But it's really nice because the Wheel of Fortune says you're going to go somewhere or someone's going to visit you. And look at this, somebody that you truly love, because we have the King of Cups again, twice in a row. So this is a really good thing. And I like that for you. All right, let's look at October next year. October next year shows waiting. Waiting on something. And again, this is a 4. So, and if you notice, there's a child here. So perhaps part of this love here is perhaps you know somebody with a child. You know, perhaps this is all part of this big happiness, is that child. And then we have the 9 of Rods, which is shows somebody looking back at their past, worried, but you know, that past is no longer affecting them. They've gotten some growth and they've moved away from whatever it was. But they certainly didn't move far enough away to not have some of that baggage follow them. And you know, we all come into our relationships with baggage. We've all been mistreated. We've all been, you know, felt like we, you know, weren't treated the way we should. And that's where justice comes in again. Again, a clarification that this is a strong relationship, that it's going to continue, that it's that happiness. It's conceivable, remember? And then last but not least, the soulmate card. So maybe you've actually finally settled into that relationship. And maybe that's the other 4 months we were talking about. So I'm liking this coming up to October. So November, 1 year from now. And again, another 4 card. Okay. So perhaps 3 becomes 4. Perhaps 2 becomes 3. 3 becomes 4. And that would make sense, because that's a new start again. So somebody's coming in to offer you their love, you know, and they want to move forward with you in the future. So I like that. But don't be so quick to grab that cup. Make sure you get what you want, and it's exactly what you want. So let's get to December, our last month, and take a look. Oh yes, happiness, peace, and contentment. Isn't that a beautiful card? That's somebody there facing their life minute by minute. They can play the fool. They can have a good time because they're strong. They've had that new start. They're loving this relationship, the strength between them, and the love is definitely there. The Page of Cups, bringer of love. And the Page of Wands, the bringer of gifts. So perhaps it means an engagement ring for Christmas next year. All right, let's get our last fortune card and find out, did you think about what you wanted? Did you think, all right. Well, let's get an answer. And the answer is sure. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's get your numbers for next year. Your lucky numbers. A lot of people like when I do this. I had a person who left me feedback a couple of years ago and said, I listened to your whole message. You were right. The numbers that you gave me worked all year long. I won a lot of money in the lottery. And I think she didn't said the number was 714. She said, and I knew it was all true on January 6th when I went to look at a new apartment, and the number was 714. So let's get your first card. And your first card is a 6. And this is a good, strong number. It means we're already halfway there. Black numbers are strength, and red numbers are emotions. So you start out strong, feeling good, about halfway to where you want to be, and then a little bit of love comes in. Not off the charts love, but love takes time, so you can't always fall instantly, madly in love. People sometimes don't take the time to realize that. And your last number 1, fresh start. So 681 is your number for next year. You can see that on a license plate, on an address, on an invoice, on your bill. And know that when you see 681, that message is for you. So I hope you have a great 2023. I wish you all the best of luck. Love to all, Gemini.